Rebirth is about shedding a skin, the old ways. It's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly.
So what is permanent? A piece of art or forgiveness?
The reason you make something out of wood is because you have a love affair with wood.
There's something there that humans need to experience. In the beginning, it was just a camping trip. The first year I came out in '91 was 250 people. It took everybody to literally pull the man up. In the beginning, it wasn't any more than that, and it was a little crazy. When it's just, a handful of people, you end up taking care of each other because it's so small and the desert is so vast. The more it grows, it becomes different. In the beginning, it had the appearance of being the big party, and big parties are okay, music is okay, but it's something deeper. I think it's healthy that people gather and go a little crazy, because I think it creates actually a healthier society to let off steam. Because there's places where you can't do that. You have to be very rigid within your own realm, and you can't step out of that. Where here, it's fine to step out of your safety realm. There is no manual for what we're doing. It's a kind of silliness in the beginning, and I think it still carries through, where anything is possible. One person created something, and then 5 more went, if they did that, I could do. And I think what it does is it shows people the potential within themselves that they could do amazing things, and it's true. As you've seen, between the costuming and the art cars and the artwork and the interactions with people, it's sort of, the environment either breaks you or it breaks down your barriers. Because we have now grown to, I believe our population was 70,100 and something, it's a different reality.
The man originally started 30 years ago on the beach, and it was a very simple structure. The man, in a lot of ways, is our lightning rod. It's a place where we all began for our culture. It's a beautiful piece, lines, it's gorgeous, but its meaning is also so varied. A lot of people like to think of it when they get to see the man that they've come home. He is kind of a a token to kind of remind people of that action or that spirit that kind of embodies them coming to the event. It's a touchstone in a lot of ways. Typically, the man doesn't vary in style. His neon will change, his suit, his jewelry will change, a lot of times to reflect whatever the theme is. So for instance, this year with Carnival of Mirrors, he has almost like a Harlequin type of thing where it's one side is one color, one side is the other color. So every year that part can be different, but the man stays pretty much the same.
Well, the really interesting thing about wood, in my mind, I've always said, is there's nothing that you can do in wood that you can't do faster or stronger or cheaper in some other medium, concrete or steel or plastic. The reason you make something out of wood is because you have a love affair with wood. And it has a warmth and makes it very accessible to people and it invites them to engage it. It's got a quality that nothing else has. It's alive. It's something that's grown, and because it is imperfect, and you have to embrace that imperfection in order to work with it well.
In this way, perhaps in this way,
There's not a lot of places where you can build a wooden structure and then set it on fire. And there really is, over the years, it's the ritual of how do you go towards releasing something.
in this way, in this way, in this way, in this
So
way.
there's a lot of different ways of building something beautiful and then releases. I think of it as not just setting it on fire, but releasing it, releasing your ownership over something that you no longer, it's no longer yours.
Perhaps
And if it is about sacrifice, getting away, letting go of what's comfortable, to take a little risk, to have a challenge in one's life, that's very scary. It's very scary to imagine something different, that you have to be open to it. But to me, it's about having courage. Courage to understand that maybe you don't have all the answers, and that's okay. And maybe fear of failure. But the failure is in the not doing.
perhaps in this way,
I feel that Burning Man is a magical thing. If you go into a bar at your home and you say, hey, you tell your friends, I want to build a whale, and we're going to all drive around in it, and it's going to have a cocktail bar, and it's going to shoot flame out of the spout, and we'll be able to fit 100 people on it, and we'll have dance party and DJs and stuff. People will say, whatever, have another drink, you're an idiot. But if you attach For Burning Man to that, people immediately know that it's a possible thing. And so many impossible things that I've heard people say to me, that sounds impossible, I've seen here.
When I first started coming out here, there really wasn't much in the way of art except for the man. But the first people who came out here, they looked at this and they saw this place as like the world's biggest blank canvas. Something about being out here under these conditions and being encouraged to express yourself just led people to start creating art. I think art is also kind of the gateway into this culture for a lot of people. The same thing still happens today, and the people come out here for the first time and they look around and they say, wow, I could do art. It's really a part of the experience of coming out here. And this place isn't for everyone. A lot of people come out here and just say, I want to go home. It's too dusty, it's too hot, I don't like it. But those people who do decide to come back and become a part of this world's biggest open-air art gallery.
So it's always a great question to ask, what does the role of art plays in the Burning Man event? We see it as the focus point. It's really the nexus of what the event actually is. This is an arts event. In a lot of ways, the art is our inspiration. When we think about Burning Man and the community and everything that goes on here, it's really about the art because it's the tangible. It's something that people can see, touch, and feel inspired by. So in a lot of ways, Burning Man is art.
Hey, Mowgli.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I think that Burning Man gives a lot back to the artists. I think the most important thing to me by far is just being able to see themselves as an artist. We help to guide through those two measures to make sure it's feasible. We want to help make sure the artists can actually realize their dream. Whatever kind of vision they had, they want to create, we help to guide them through the different resources. We have over 322 art pieces we placed on the playa. And so working with each of those groups to have that one-on-one connection to help solve or, again, acknowledge them is what gets me up in the morning, keeps me up late at night.
How do you like it?
I probably have a staff of almost 200 people that work out of the artery, almost 100% volunteers whose only focus and their passion is support the art and the artists out here. We believe that the process of making the art as well as showing the art is the whole beautiful act of creating art. So it's not just the end result. And I think the beauty of Burning Man is we treat all the artists the same and that we all welcome them and we recognize them as artists and their art as art. It is interesting to see the artist evolution even just during the 8 days on Playa or a little bit longer. It is not an easy task. You're pushing yourself in so many different directions. And I'm just so grateful for people being willing to take on that challenge because it really is a challenge. Dave May spent 2 years planning what this piece is going to be like, how people are going to experience it. And part of the process sometimes is seeing and accepting and working with the changes that the environment, the materials, the people around you actually contribute to making that shift. And by the end of the week, we love seeing the people feeling like being tired, dusty often, but feeling really satisfied and feeling really good and at a base level knowing that they did it.
This is fucking solid, it's good. Okay, go! One more screw! The concept of my art piece, it's the bismuth bivouac. It's based on the crystalline structures of bismuth metal, which basically is called a hopper crystal, and it creates this stepping structure. So the bismuth part is the crystal, and then the bivouac is like the kind of camping and shading structure element of it. The whole point of Burning Man is this very like temporal kind of city. It kind of comes and it goes, you leave no trace at all, and I think the artwork reflects that in the same sense that it's here, it's played with, and then at the end you burn it all and it's just gone. I like the fact that I see people climbing on my piece and people are sitting around it and playing around it, and I think that's what the difference is between kind of a conventional art gallery. I mean, an art gallery does involve people. People are drawn in to look at the artwork, but at Burning Man here, the artwork it's a bit more than just looking at it. It involves everyone more.
So the original piece was derived from origami, and then after we created one unit, we mirrored that on all axes to embody the theme, the Carnival of Mirrors, this year. The concept behind it is a church confessional. So you have a person at either side of the piece, and through the perforated screen, they would share their secrets or tales or stories, and then as the piece is removed, the secrets will remain with the burners. So the name I came up with is because not only physically it's reflected in all ways, it's one unit, then when you have 8 of them, it creates the final form. Anything that you see fit at this festival, it could be internal reflection and also physical reflection of the piece itself. I think here, people, all the tactility, they feel free to do whatever they want, and I think that's really a great thing. You can understand more of what the artist has tried to create by really interacting with it.
I think what it means for most people now is the ephemeral nature of the experience. The fact that this doesn't last, that we do bring it out here and then we take it all away, which is a sort of renewal every year, an accelerated cycle of renewal, and it gives us the opportunity to start all over again with another blank canvas and build something new.
The piece this year, as you can see, is a large plywood pavilion. I took my inspiration from cathedrals and Gothic churches. I was looking at the arched forms of vaulted ceilings, and I've tried to recreate those forms here. I use digital design, processing, and scripting tools. So we're trying to use sort of new age design tools to look at historic examples of design and make something new and interesting out of it. Burning Man's an amazing place to experiment and build art. It's a great opportunity and environment where people can interact in it in a way that they wouldn't be able to in any other place. We're trying to create a sacred place, but I mean, it's hard to say that, yeah, this is sacred. We've just created something that hopefully people will find beautiful, and you know, they can interact with it in their own way.
I'm Sema from Russia. Work its own way. All we have different way. And this work just to ask people what they want at the end. Somebody wants money, somebody wants love, happy. And we have 5 different ways, and all people just can come, go and see. And after that think, this is my way or not my way. And on the top we have the rainbow. like the symbol to connect the sky and all our. And really, I'm happy to be here. At first time would be difference. And now I'm just happy and I'm home.
This is our Burning Man fire department here. They're all here to make sure that we're all staying safe tonight. So let's go walk over and we're going to look at one point on how we're going to do the fueling and then talk about the lighting, okay? Let's go over and look at one side. So we're using the fire as a tool to elicit and create emotional responses in people. I've taken lots of training so that I could become the expert that we needed here to work with all the fire art that we have. You know, every year I see more and more art with fire on it. The burning of the art in that way is a release for those artists, so they're not tied to the art of the past. They can keep working on new things every year. Then the people with the torches and the fire extinguishers are going to move in, staying a little further away from the walls. When you're pouring in the fuel, look, it's going to run down this board right onto your pants. Be careful when you're putting it on. Every year and every day that I do this job, I feel like that genie in the bottle helping make the wish come true. I don't dictate what the wish is. I don't tell you what your wish should be. You tell me your wish and I tell you how we can make that a real thing.
Out here, if you look at the shape of Black Rock City, it's a crescent shape. And we place at the very center of it all the art and human expression. And we also have a lot of social surface area, all the theme camps, the plazas, lots and lots of places for people to have conversations and engage socially. But the circle is not closed. The circle is open. And beyond that circle, you have the beautiful mountain range, you have the vastness of the desert, you have the open sky, you have the stars. Part of our humanity is in having a relationship with nature. Thinking beyond just even the human relationship, but that we are a part of nature and have our place in it.
Make way for your lamplighters! Make way for your lamplighters! We are your lamplighters! For 24 years, we have lit the city without fail. Today, once again, we fulfill this sacred duty. To you, we offer sacred gifts. The first gift is illumination. Is navigation. And the third gift is celebration. Make way for your lamplighters! Make way for your lamplighters! Make way for your lamplighters!
The man is like you're pampering the wood. You're preparing it for its sacrifice. And there really is, over the years, it's the ritual of how do you go towards releasing something. I mean, we usually don't say what the man is, but for me, he absorbs everything from us all year long. Even if he's not physically around, our attention is always there. He's the sorrow, he's the challenges, he's our tears, he's our happiness, he's our joy. He absorbs all of that all year long so that it can be released and go with the hearts of everybody in Black Rock City. The wood itself transforming, sort of like a phoenix as well. The phoenix has to burn up. It's wood at one point and then it turns back to ashes. During the week, his arms are down. He's in one position, raising the arms sort of as a signal where he's surrender and allows us to release it.
Burning Man's this raucous, incredible experience that's where everything is bigger than life and loud and bright and cacophonous. But it's also a city, and it has all of the needs of any city, including the need for a temple. So this is my fourth burn, and this is my first art project. I've never actually built anything out here before. It's really kind of a testament to the Burning Man organization that they would take such an incredible risk with a first-time artist. It wasn't so much that I chose it, it sort of chose me. Up till now, I've just been designing on a very small scale. So this is much bigger than anything I've ever done. My idea was how I wanted people to move through and experience a space. You would go from something very immense to something very human in scale. The building would transform. I thought, if you're at Burning Man, you're on a journey. It would be interesting if the temple extended that journey.
this temple of promise.
As a community, we had police force, we had medical, we had porta potties, we had a cafe, we had a place for celebration. We didn't have a place for grief. So it became an automatic kind of the next public building that we should have in our city is a place for mourning and reflection. I prefer to heal maybe 3 or 4 generations of a family. That's not gonna ever fall out of fashion. That's not a collector's item. The idea of something being permanent, you make a piece of art and it's permanent, nothing.
And in the beginning, we were asking, okay, what are you doing? But we realized we needed a different question. It was like, why are you doing it? Why are you building this temple? And not everybody can answer that. And really the answer to it is for the community. Not for the art itself, but giving. That's the other aspect of, I know there's a need and I have to do this and I'm gonna build this beautiful structure and then we're gonna let go of it.
The idea of putting love into a piece of wood, it's the intention of which you handle something. It's a way of protecting. It's a way of sealing. It's a way of forgiving.
The fact that, unlike other sacred spaces, everyone writes on the walls and leaves messages. It's a conversation between the temple and everyone who comes here, but everyone shares that conversation with each other, and a good temple listens. We created a building, a structure. The people who come here, we give it to them. They make it a temple. Everything you see there, it's normal people. They're making altars, but they're not maybe perfectly designed, but they're honest and they're raw and they're true and they're about someone who really lived. The temple's like a book that has countless authors and they're all anonymous, and no one's gonna read the entire book before we burn it down.
The thing that makes the temple work here is that people get exhausted. You lose your keys to your car. Your boyfriend leaves you out in the playa. You've drank too much. You didn't take any water. The music's worn you out. It's like, imagine going to a therapist so that when they come to the temple, they're wrung out, so they don't have any defense. There's nothing to hide. The wind has worn everyone out. Even the rich, if the dust storms come, it tires them too.
Rebirth is about shedding a skin, the old ways, but it's also recognizing what don't I need in my life that I can just let go of, I can let burn up, I can sacrifice. It's like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. We're all sort of sacrificing something within ourselves, we hope. What can you give up in any fire? What do you want to let go of? What is there inside of you that you no longer need, that you really need to burn up? There's something there humans need to experience.
So what is permanent? A piece of art or forgiveness?
Seething mass of humanity, and it really is. It's like all the aspects. It's like we're seeding. It's like when you look at a fire and you see the ember clouds, it's almost as if the ember clouds are actually sending the prayers out into the world, and it's hard to tell where they're actually going to land, as if they're going to sprout something new. People are actually doing that as well. They come here and they get filled up with whatever they need, and they take it back home with them and they plant it. People then look at the world differently. And I think that's how we're changing the world, is that people are making a difference. People are being empowered. They're seeing the possibilities wherever they are.